I remember I saved a lot at an early age, and I wrote down a specific goal to save $100K as soon as I could after graduation. I wanted the time freedom and the flexibility if something came up that I had the freedom to step away and take time off. Hi, I'm Carly DeFelice. I'm 38. I make $58,000 a year. I live full-time in an RV in Austin, Texas. My mom was balancing her checkbook when she went to labor. At the time, my mom and dad had a barbecue restaurant, and that was actually going under. And so I was born when there was financial chaos. One of my friends was also a babysitter at the nursery, and I remember she said, I can't wait until my paycheck deposits. And at the time, it was completely a foreign idea that she actually would spend that money. The majority of the money that I made, I just kept, and I grew up, I played soccer, and so I reffed soccer games. So at the time, I would make $20 for an hour, and it was really important to me to have my own sense of money. For me, I consistently have cost of living around $25,000, which is super low because I'm debt-free and I live in an RV. So when creating my budget, I keep it super simple. I look at my fixed expenses versus my flex expenses. I take an average of what I spend on utilities, and then I have my health insurance, my car insurance, I have RV insurance. That's pretty much it. The main expense that I have with my RV is the lot. So the RV is paid in full itself, but I do have to pay to park it. This past month, I had unexpected expenses. I ended up having that dreaded check engine light come on, so I had a repair. It was about $377. I had to replace my bike tires and tubes. The biggest thing is I have an emergency fund. My emergency savings, I have over a year's worth of expenses in the bank for a rainy day. So I call this system weekly cash. So I'd buy my necessities first, so groceries, gas for my car, and then whatever was left would be happy hours and hanging out with friends. It really takes the guesswork out of budgeting. It's just like, can I afford something? Can I buy this drink or whatever? Look at my wallet. If there's money there, I'll get it. FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. Basically, what you want to do is you want to build assets 25 times your annual living expenses. Then you can safely withdraw 4% and effectively live off of that for the rest of your life. So I reached Coast FIRE by 26 with a nest egg of over $100K. What that means is I could simply just let that money grow and work for me. I graduated in December of 2008 with a finance degree, right when the Great Recession hit. Conveniently, all the financial markets crashed. I owed about $35,000 in student loans and a car loan. I ended up walking into my finance professor's office hours and kind of being like, what should I do about this whole job thing? So at the heat of the recession, I rolled up my sleeves and I trained myself how to install home security systems. So I went from college student to entrepreneur, selling and now installing home security systems. So every year I didn't have a salary or standard paycheck. So I learned though to have a separate business account and then pay myself a set amount every month to kind of have a regular budget. I had a roommate. At the time, I was only spending about $500 a month on my rent. Having that low rent really freed up cash for me to pay off my debt and also invest. During that time, I did things like getting $15 haircuts, where I would literally walk into the hair salon and with a bottle of water, they'd spray my hair and just cut it. I bought my groceries for the entire week for $32.12. So one day I was on my way to my office, aka Barnes & Noble, because they had free internet, and I passed by this investment firm and it just hit me. I was like, you know what? I have this finance degree. I'm naturally really good with managing money. I want to help educate young adults manage money. And I created Best Money Class Ever. It's a live and virtual personal finance class. I help people do exactly the same thing that I do to pay off debt and to invest. I sold everything that I had and I just wanted to get away. I wasn't exactly sure where or what, but the first stop was a month in Hawaii. So I was always curious about tiny living, so I ended up getting an Airbnb in Hawaii and a tiny home to test it out. And I immediately loved the tiny space. So I spent my days just doing whatever it was that I needed or wanted to do. I didn't want to haul it around because at first everything was intimidating. I had no idea how to do anything with the tanks, the black water, the gray water. Everything was like a foreign language to me. So I wanted to kind of stay put in a spot. Even though I had this big dream of like trying out all these places and starting over in a new place, I realized that I really craved my community and went back to Austin, Texas. I'm a very extroverted person, and so I was tired of working from coffee shops and by myself. I decided to go and work on my business at a co-working space. So when the pandemic hit, I started realizing I love doing my class and speaking engagements and live events. However, everything completely changed. So then I turned to TikTok and doing Instagram Reels, where I started filming very short form, little tidbits of, meal planning and debt payoff. As a community manager, I get to do things that I would naturally do in my day-to-day life. When I was working there as a solopreneur with Best Money Class Ever, I found myself having chit-chat with friends, office coffee talk, developing relationships with people in a workspace. I have mastered the art of being incredibly social, having an amazing social life, and also being good and saving my money. And I think the way that I've found balance is I realize that it is the experience with my friends that matters. So it's catching up with a friend, how was your week, how's this thing, how's that, and enjoying the time with them. If I do reach that $1 million mark, I would feel confident of not having to bring in an income with a standard day job or with my business. For me though, that's not the end goal. I do feel like part of financial independence that appealed to me is the time freedom. I wanted to have the freedom to spend my time as I wish. I don't necessarily want to retire. I want to spend my life reaching people and helping people turn things around with money.